I believe that every indie filmmaker should have this light in their arsenal. Those lights back there are the PavoTube II 30Xs. I think I got that right. These lights were sent to me by Nanlite, so take that with what you will, but they told me I didn't need to say anything. First things first, I think with tube lights, I kind of just like slept on them for a second. For a while, I just saw them in music videos, and I was like, do I really need a tube light? They're just used for music videos or like just that thing you throw in the shot. Now, they can be that, and I've used them for that, but they're also some of the most versatile lights I've ever used. And now that I got my hands on some, I pretty much exclusively use it. So let's just talk about the ease of use of these things. Oh my God. You can just like have somebody Hollywood the light, just hold the light in the shot. If you don't need a stand. You could have a meat stand. You can have a human stand named Joey, and they have feelings. No more of these stands that don't have feelings. No, but like, seriously, there's a lot of times I'm running and gunning on these like shoots, and I need somebody to hold the light and just like film it. Like for this shot where we needed to have lights going by in the background, the car is parked, but we have somebody just holding a tube light set to a driving setting and just going into the background. Because like we were filming just on a residential street, we just were filming it in my neighborhood. And, having the ability to have somebody quickly run away with it if the cops get called on us is pretty great. I've been using these lights specifically for getting into places that I couldn't otherwise. So the size of it is kind of a huge draw for me. They are so skinny that they can fit in any like tiny situation. Because of the size, you can like rig it up into cool ways. You can just float it right out of frame to have a nice edge light. And that's something that, kind of is for indie filmmakers entirely important, because you're not going to always have a room that's ginormous. You're most of the time you're going to be filming in a tiny room that won't bode well for nice lighting, and a lot of the times you're filming against roadblocks, and it's not going to be the light you need for every shot, but having a light that can in situations help you out is super useful. So that's another thing. So the ease of use and the size of this thing really makes me glad I have this in my tool bag. And I've been pretty much using these lights as either key lights or nice backlights because they're so tall. You can boom this out of frame and then have a nice long, backlight that, your characters can move in and out of, and you're always going to have a nice backlight. I was in a tiny little bathroom, and I just put one of these up in the corner, and it worked well, and it was just lit by one tube light, and it looks pretty good. Because they're so long, they produce like this weirdly soft light. You would think, because a point source light, it has a very harsh shadow, and you need to either diffuse it, either like by bouncing it or throwing it through a softbox or something like that. But with this, it's so small, it's so skinny, it's protruding like a soft light. What I did for one of the shorts is I just took this light pretty much in this configuration, but rotated it and put some diffusion over it, and it was a really soft key light that had a nice wrap to it, and I could either orientate it long ways or horizontally like this to get a really nice wraparound for certain shots. Using this as a key light, because this is so movable, if you're fully charged, you don't need any wires or anything. You don't have to worry about so much stuff, and that's another plus. I think we're a little spoiled because lights now, like RGB lights, are getting cheaper and they're getting way better. And just having an RGB light and something I can control with my phone. Let me just pull up the app real quick. It's so cool because I can go in here and, switch it to CCT mode, and I can go in and change it to like daylight balanced here. And this is at 5%, but if I blow this up, both these lights, it's super bright. And I'm also using a 300D right here with some diffusion on it, and it's combating the sunlight in the background, so that's pretty awesome. And also you can go into HSI mode and go around, and you can just go and pick whatever color you want. It looks, here we got some purple, pink, and blue. I always pick This is kind of my favorite color in the world here. This like tealish blue. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm gonna keep it like that. That looks nice. Just having that ability, it makes me not want to use gels ever again. And just having a small, soft light that you can put anywhere, somebody can hold if you're filming outside, and having the ability to match any lighting or color is super awesome. And that's like some of the best reasons for indie filmmakers to use. You know, it's a great light in terms of that. It's just another light in a toolbox that isn't a point source, that isn't a panel light, but it's sort of like its own thing, and it's great. And it's not just for music videos, it's for whatever you need it to be. Now, if you are at all a fan of this channel, you know that I am really into VFX, and I do it a lot. It's what I do for a living. These lights for VFX are awesome. I've used these to light green screens because they're so soft and skinny. I've just like placed them down, and I just had a, you know, I wiped my hands of the situation, and it's so much easier to have lights like this instead of like having a couple point source lights, because they're so soft and they, you know, spew out a good amount of light. It's super easy. And like I can make sure the spill doesn't hit like the actor by putting some gaff tape on the edge of it, or you can actually put a little grid on this. I have one of those grid boxes for it, but I just put a little piece of gaff tape on it because I was lazy. Also, the pixel effects. I could talk about that car shot again, or doing something where, you know, you're doing a lightsaber effect, or you're doing like a shot where you need to have moving light, but you know, your character's in one place, like if you're in like an elevator scene or something. All that sort of stuff like helps, you know, just having lights with built-in effects, like it has fire settings and all that stuff. And one of the easiest things you can do as a VFX artist is putting real lighting that is affecting your scene. Like if an effect in real life would be emitting light, then you would probably put a real light in the scene. I've been wanting to make a video like this for a while. I actually, before they even sent me lights, was going to make a video about tube lights and how they're really awesome. And I don't know, I just got excited. I want to make a video, talk about these lights. And I basically, since I've gotten these lights, have used it in every single project that I have, and probably will be using in every single project. I'm even thinking about getting even more of them. Also, not to mention the fact that you can put these lights in your frame. They kind of just look like, you know, fluorescent tube lights. You can put these lights into your shot and they look great. You know, obviously I'm not really like a light reviewer, but the build quality is great. They're made out of metal. The app is pretty easy to use. The lighting quality is good. I was just talking about it in terms of just the actual use case and the day-to-day of using a light like this. It's just a really good tool, and I think if you can afford it, go grab one for yourself. And if you're really into making short films and planning a video, go check out my video on how to plan out your shoots using a free iPhone app. Go check that video out, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.